Hello, hello, hello. Just when you thought all the action was done for summer, OzFortress and TF Live have teamed up to bring you a little something extra. We've revived OzFortress State v State for 2020. We're going to bring you the best of the action, the best of the Australian scene, as each state and the Allies team go up against each other to see who reigns supreme. And tonight we're going to be going through the group stages, and tomorrow evening we're going to be casting the finals. But with me starting off tonight, we have the wonderful Corin production, and casting the tournament, we have Michael and Xander. How's it going, guys?
Yeah, good dude. How are you?
I'm doing pretty all right myself. I'm happy we have something like this back on our screens. It's been quite some time since we've done a state v state tournament.
Yeah, I believe the last State v State was in 2011, I think. We've run two before, one in 2010, one in 2011, and I don't think it's been run since. So it's definitely been a while since we've seen some of this State v State action on our screens.
Yeah, a lot of people playing and watching probably didn't know about TF2, or at least weren't playing competitively when the first iterations of this. So new concept for a lot of people.
Yeah, exactly. And I believe actually during the night, just as this mumble notification provides, we will have beta joining us throughout the evening as well. So we'll have a few casters kind of coming in, coming out, because we do have quite a few games to bring you this evening. But starting off, we're actually going to be kicking it off tonight with South Australia versus Queensland, my home state versus, the Pineapple Gang. So with that, do you guys want to go down these rosters before we kick things off with the action?
Yeah, I'll take it off with the Queensland roster. So for Queensland tonight, we have Sam and Elmo on the scouts. Two scouts people know all too well if you've been following the action over the past few years. We have Adolo on Roma, Lex on Pocket. We have Gooseman on Demoman, and T3 on Medic. Quite an experienced roster for Queensland. I'm going for them.
Yeah, there's a lot of good players on that team, and coming up on the other side of Team Adelaide, or sorry, Team South Australia, but we all know it's Team Adelaide. Combo Scout is Dork with Deft on the flank. Doge is roaming, Riot on Pocket, Moop playing Demo, and Skaz on Medic. There's currently an extra player on the server. I'm not sure exactly who that is at the moment, but they're going to hopefully sort that out with some sub action coming into play. But these teams have been specially formed for this event. A lot of these players have, of course, played together before, but and a few people have been scrimming some of their games. But this is really the first time we're going to see these two teams in action, as this is round one of our game. How do you reckon these two teams stack up against each other, Michael?
These two teams are really, I know, they're quite different, right? You look on the side of Queensland, and the names that really pop off the page to you are going to be Sam and Elmo, right? Like, I mean, Gooseman, he's been kind of floating around that kind of mid to high prem scene as seasons go on. He'll have some off, some on. But Sam and Elmo very consistently top 3, top 4 teams every season, highlight players on their team, and they are the two highlight players on this Queensland roster. They're going to really need to play around their scouts to bring it far, because some of the other rosters are really formidable.
Yeah, Victoria in particular, I think, is a roster to look out for. We'll probably get some Victoria's games on in the next few weeks. Next few hours even, thinking a little too far ahead. But yeah, that is definitely something to watch out for. On the South Australia roster, though, any players that stand out for you?
I think in particular, it's gonna be Doge and it's gonna be Dork. I think those two are gonna look to make a lot of room around Moop, who's the demo man for South Australia, and they're just going to look at kind of pushing their combo out, let their flank kind of do their own thing. They've got Riot on the Roma. That man will just jump around, especially in a map like Process. He is a big Tempest gamer. So he's going to be flying around, his combos just going to be walking forward, this solid unit of experienced players. The only thing is that they're all going to want heals. I really want to see how Skaz is going to deal with that, because all three of those players in their combo are pretty heavy healers, but if they can pull it off, they're going to really get some momentum going.
Yeah, and because we've kind of limited the player pool to, of course, a state versus state, there are some players off-classing. Skaz, of course, has played Medic before, but Deft, namely on that team as well, is off-classing from his usual demo man onto Scout, and there are a few slight off-classes as well. Adolo has definitely played Pocket/Soldier before, but I think he's much better on Scout because his one of the best sticky shooters around. You fight him as Demo Man and you just don't have any damage. So it's really interesting to see how some of these off classes will affect it too. With the 2 scouts on the Queensland team, I know Doge in particular likes to play a really deep bomb soldier. I'm interested to see how that pairs up against the two aim heroes on the other team. I think these insects will shut him down pretty hard, but we'll wait and see. We are not live just yet. I think there's one player who's just dropped out. Do you want to sort of say anything about the history of the OZfortress state versus state tournament? Anybody, or is anyone not sure about that because it was in the dim distant past?
This was from a time far before even I started playing TF2. I don't think TF2 came into my radar until 2012, 2013. But going back, I mean, if you look at the past winners, I believe you found out earlier, Xander, it was Victoria 2010 and New South Wales 2011. And I mean, if you're just looking at population density, that's what you'd expect. That's where all the players are coming from. That's where the place in Australia has the best net. All the gamers are located to those 2 key states. So, if you look at the teams on paper, I'm sure we'll get to New South Wales and Victoria later on in the evening, and I mean, you'll see how stacked some of these teams are. But yeah, I guess it's not surprising that that's where the highest quality of players coming from. Not to put down any of the other states or the allies, but just got to be a bit realistic,
Yeah, there's definitely a good spread of players around here. I think a lot of these games could stand to be very, very close. Particularly these teams that we're going to see tonight. I think these first 2 teams are going to be really, really close, South Australia and Queensland, respectively. But we are heading live into our first group stage of tonight, which is going to be on CP Process. Who are you going to watch on this rollout, Michael?
Oh, I really want to see what Gooseman's going to do. He could be really fast, he could be really slow, you never really know, as he is going to hit the ramp slide, but he's going to be incredibly low health. Moop, he's going to get pressured back though by a Dolo taking some height, and Moop's got to wait, kind of be a little bit passive as he's taking a lot of damage. Riot's going to try and exploit the...
Yeah, these are these 2 soldiers bombing in, Doge and Riot going down, and the soldiers are now being traded, and it's a collapse on the side of Queensland right now. It's just the 2 insects up, but nice pipe from Gooseman. We're going to be saying that a lot tonight, I feel, as Gooseman is definitely well known for his pipes. Dork just living and getting out with his life, but that soldier bomb not being super effective there, Michael.
No, yeah, landing 2 soldiers on Gooseman and just they just sat there. I don't think I saw him lose his buff. He had full health the entire time, and in the meantime, Ryan and Adolo just killed Moop by themselves. No support from the medic, nothing.
Yeah, T3 did get down pretty low, but he did manage to hit a nice surf and survive there. But the Uber is actually forced out of T3 right now. They do lose 2 soldiers for it, but they do manage to recap they managed to lose their second for it, I should say.
The thing is, with Queensland, Gooseman in particular is a very aggressive player, and he knows that the other team does not have Uber. He's going to walk into last with Sam, and he's going to get a kill on a Moop. And with the gun going down on Dork, that's going to lead to a very quick round going in favor of Queensland.
Yeah, that was some really, really aggressive play coming out there. That gun stood no chances. They did manage to just force their player ad into last, as those 2 soldiers did lose their life pretty late there. But we do head into our second mid. I'm going to watch Moop this mid as he does hit that ramp slide at about the same time as Gooseman. Adolo coming in really, really fast to steal the pack though. Moop forced to sit there and wait for the arrow there as he's spamming across the point. Dork is seeing if he can take some high ground here, but nothing going. Now it's the soldiers bombing Riot and Riot and Moop both landing on top of Gooseman, but now this is the South Australia collapse coming in there. Skaz is forced to run for his life as those 2 soldiers both landing on top of Gooseman unfortunately don't get anyone. Only Adolo losing his life in that mid, Michael.
Yeah, that was just, again, I think we're going to see a theme come out here from South Australia on these mids, the way these last 2 have played out. It hasn't worked going for Gooseman these past 2 mids, but I think they know that if they don't, he's just going to get too much space and kind of make that room for his team to be able to win the mid regardless.
Yeah, we do see Sam going in for a sack there as he knows these Ubers are even, but it looks like they're trying to sort of feel through this lobby area. Riot in position, jumping deep, but the medic is so far back. Yeah, he doesn't get more than one little splash rocket on that. And we do see Sam spawn up on Sniper now, and we sort of wait to see Sam hit some shots now, Michael.
Yeah, I want to see what they're going to do about lobby here, because, yeah, you see Queensland, they're going to start taking lobby here. They want Sam to be peeking out door 3, door 5, getting those free shots onto people, as they will spot him at this point, but he's going to walk far out 5. No, they didn't see him!
Oh my god!
Sam!
Yeah, wow. He hits those shots. He does get taken out really quite low, but actually the T3 is going to take him down
so
really, really low in lobby too. Doge is going for it there. Gooseman does lose his life in lobby, and these two soldiers are walking forward. Everyone is so low health on Queensland right now. They're actually forced way back. They may actually be forced to leapfrog here. Riot's in on the medic. Oh, he's so low, but nice surf from T3 and good protection from his team to keep him alive in that fight. But now everyone's up for the side of Queensland, and it looks like they're ready to force this repush right now.
Yeah, I think we're going to see maybe a door 1, door 2 push. They're not taking lobby yet, and yeah, you're going to see Gooseman and Sam leading this through door 1. As Sam, he's been left out of the Uber. He's half health by the time it comes in, and they're going to have to split a bit. Ryan wants this heavy, and Deft will go down to the pipe, but this gun has been left alive, although no, Dork will get off of the engineer to help his team at frag. But you've just got Ryan making a menace behind the enemy gamers. Yeah, Elmo's going to come in, clean up some frags, and that's going to be another pretty quick second round.
Yeah, Moop doing some good damage on the point there, but Gooseman playing out of the Uber and just being a menace behind is, I think, what won them that, as it forced a lot of players to turn around and kind of look in the wrong spot, and then the point was just played as we head into our next mid here, Michael.
Oh, we've got a classic Gooseman rollout here. He's just coming through choke now, botched the jump out of door 2. But, yeah, South Australia not going to be able to take anything off of it as, yeah, Moop got in early but just couldn't do anything. You're going to see a high bomb in from Lex, get onto Skaz, but he'll actually just get the pack and run. You're going to see two frags come out from the Queensland scouts as Wright and Deft tried to make some aggressive plays, but Elmo's going to get behind onto Skaz, and he's completely unseen, but he's missing everything. Elmo, this is not what we expect. He'll clean up Skaz with the pistol, and that'll be Ryan and T3 leaving. T3's been gone for ages. As Doge, he's in door 2. He won't go further though.
Yeah, he's going to see if he can get onto Gooseman here onto this second point, but there's nothing going for him and he's forced to leave. Looks like no, Adolo doesn't chase him there. But yeah, almost the opposite of what usually happened that mid came out. South Australia's soldiers fake bombed. Fake bombed there and managed to bait the other two soldiers forward, and they got cleaned up by their scouts, and that was actually a really, really sensible mid played from them. But now the full Uber ad from T3 is making its way into choke, and it looks like they're picking up 2 players. Only Adolo losing his life there. Riot looks like Riot actually cleaning up on the flank. Adolo and Sam down to him, and Skaz is now really, really far forward, and it looks like they are forced back out as 3 down here. The Uber is forced as well by Deft and Riot as well, and this is now looking really, really good for Team South Australia as they now manage to push this through choke. Gooseman looks like he's going to get taken down too. Elmo just a little bit too late on the protection there, and Elmo dies too. The soldier jumping into choke. Oh, and he gets Skaz. That's a nice bomb from Lex, but it looks like too little too late, and second is definitely going to fall to South Australia here, Michael.
Yeah, that was a really clean turret from Lex, and I think saving the round for his team there, like at least the imminent loss, as Skaz was coming up on about 70% Uber there. It would have been massive disadvantage for his own team, but they're going to come out of this 30% ad, and they're going to have no off classes on the side of Queensland, no off classes on the side of South Australia, as they're just going to build Uber pretty passive, wait for Queensland, see if they want to pressure out. But I want everyone to take a look above door 2. We have some cheeky business coming out here from Doge and Riot. And boy, if they decide to Uber out door 2, even if they decide to come lobby and don't look up, which who is looking up in that situation?
This is the
T3
hugest
could meet his end.
This is amazing. I love this. Oh, and they come out and they drop down on Adolo. Oh, Riot is still there, actually. He's looking to clean up on the... He lands on Elmo's head! But it does look like in the meantime, all of the rest of his team has dropped. Skaz hits a really nice surf to run all the way out of choke. But Elmo is not pleased with that soldier landing on his head. Skaz fleeing with his tail between his legs.
And Elmo only saw one of them. Like, imagine if Elmo comes out 185 door 2 and just, 2 soldiers land on his head, instant fragged.
Yeah, unfortunately it doesn't pay out for them as they do lose their mid. Skaz surviving there is absolutely huge though, because it means they now have full Uber to repush. They're through the choke. The Uber isn't even... Oh no, the Uber does get forced right at the end. Adolo is going to go behind. Deft wants to clean that frag up. Dork chasing it too. Yeah, manages to trade at the very end, and this Uber is finishing in the choke, but looks like T3 is playing really, really far back, and it looks like it's just a quick mid leapfrog here, Michael.
Yeah, and I think South Australia could have turned that into a lot more because they were so slow on the cap, having 4 people standing in front of choke. Ryan is going to get the forward spawn, and as his team comes up with the Uber,
Riot hitting a nice rocket there, and then the Uber drops. Riot again comes in and hits that rocket.
They forget him!
That's amazing.
How do you forget that? Oh man, Sam getting minced and then Riot just bloody... Oh my god. What? How do you put that into words? They just completely forgot.
Yeah, and there was a little bit of an Elmo moment as he comes in and cleans up a couple of people behind, but that is ultimately a very, very late death as the spawns are now coming up for South Australia. But it looks like the spawns are up for Queensland too, and it's just a little bit of a reset here with Skaz on full Uber now.
Yeah,
Here
and
they
I think
come.
The forward spawn there, like, even though South Australia has the forward spawn, because they're trying to push into second, and Queensland's only coming from last, where South Australia's to come from their own second. It's, you know, they can't get in as quickly as they like, but you're going to see Riot take upper IT and do a lot of damage onto Adolo.
Lex is in deep too, and he does land a nice rocket on Skaz, but Skaz moving well. No, ultimately does get forced in that little corner, but they do manage to trade this second for it. 3 down is the price that they pay. If they are quick, they can get in and catch them off Uber right now, but T3 does come up with his Uber. Looks like Moop is moving a little too slow through this door one, but Riot is playing the point, and that is so much cap time. That is going to come in big as they are going to walk in here, see if they can force this Uber, and this is a really nice force. This is exactly what they want. Only Moop losing his life there. Doge surviving at the very end too. Sam chasing this super, super deep. Dork actually maybe overstaying his welcome a little bit here. Yeah, Sam wins that against Dork, and that is a complete turnaround. Just Dork staying in there too much. They are sitting on about 20% Uber ad, but it's a little too late, and I think their players aren't going to come up in time, and they may have to lose this mid, Michael.
Yeah, they may look at backing out here, but I don't know, something about the way they're positioning says that they are not going to go down until they lose 1 or 2 players. As Riot's going to get very low. Skaz going to take some spam as well, but Moop's going to end up cleaning up Adolo. And Queensland are on the back foot here. South Australia's got their spawners, and they will get Riot, so that's even players, but I don't know, Lex getting very aggressive, trading his life for Doge as Dork comes in with the cleanup, and you've just got a lot of aggression coming out from South Australia on the point here, but neither team wants to budge. Queensland here not having control of the height and losing Sam. They will have to back out, as I think they do realize they're at slight Uber disad at this point. T3 back in the point, and Ryan will get caught.
Yeah, that was just going down to the insects on each team as they do get cleaned up, but they are forced all the way back, as I think Guzman being a quite late death there unfortunately has cost his team this point, and they're definitely going to come in and trade off this. Deft is coming in super deep. Actually, Deft looks like he's only sacking. He's not getting anything here, unfortunately. Does lose his life, but Doge is supporting him from 2 there. Eats a headshot and is forced to run away as Sam is sniping. Looks like he's going to peek door 1 here. Doesn't hit a shot actually. He does get forced out here. Nice rockets from Doge, cleaning him up and taking Elmo down to about 4 health as well. They're not ready to trade on this either. They're just going to sit here and wait for something to happen as something comes in, and T3 drops again to Riot. Riot, you gotta fear him, man. He's such a good roamer at heart, and the Uber is now coming in through the lobby area. And they're cleaning up Lex behind. Point is being played by Dork, and it's too little too late. And that is the comeback round from South Australia on the board here, Michael.
2 drops from Riot to win that round. I mean, South Australia, they're a good team, but I don't know if you can be relying on 2 drops a half to win rounds, as we're going to see Ryan show up to mid a little bit later than Moop, but Moop doesn't go for his pack. Moop's been giving up that pack a lot, just waiting for the arrow from his own medic at the start of these mids, which is letting Lex just kind of float around on 200 health, as Adolo's going to get a big bomb and do a lot of damage onto Deft. And you're going to see 2 classes in the middle of the point for South Australia, but no one on Queensland can clean them up as they've lost both of their soldiers. And it looks like the last 3 players of Queensland, they're going to ditch Sam and hightail it out of there, but oh, no, Guzman, he'll get a nice pipe onto Riot, but he should lose his life to Dork here.
Yeah, and they do trade. That was a really interesting mid coming out as the sort of I don't know really what was happening. Adolo was jumping around a lot and creating a lot of distraction, but his team couldn't really follow up on that as he kind of just died behind whilst doing nothing. And of course crossbow exists, so all that damage he did to Deft meant nothing. And we do see Even Ubers on last yet again, up against Queensland's last this time. See if Riot can pull off something yet again. And here he comes through door 4. He's on the medic. Unfortunately nothing going for him this time. Just one little splash rocket there. That's actually a really nice surf. I think T3 wants to stay up there. It feels a little safer. But we don't see any counterplay coming out of Queensland just yet here, Michael.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't shock me if we see one of the soldiers of South Australia get up onto that cheeky little, I don't know what you want to call it, wall glitch above door 2. You've got Doge taking a big buff here, so maybe he'll try it, see if he can catch something out of door 2, but it didn't work for them. As you're going to see Sam, he's trying to catch someone. He's looking at the little wall above, and he might try and take a body shot on the right. He's just out of the sight line. And Riot, he'll see him at this point. They know they have the sniper, even though Sam is all the way back in last.
And Dork is counter-sniping as well. Looks like he's trying to look through door 1 here, but they're all playing in the lobby area, just one soldier there. And Dork is rotating right now, seeing if he can get a different angle. Looks like he's trying to peek through door 2 right now, getting spammed out, yeah, as Elmo does walk forward there. And it's just a battle of the snipers right now, seeing who can hit this first shot, who's peeking. It looks like Dork watching lower lobby right now. Stickies everywhere. Sam is in the meme location. Oh, and he gets a nice shot onto Riot. As he and to Dork. Yeah, that's nice. Adolo does lose his life as he goes in for a counter sack there, and it now looks like 2 down on the side of South Australia. Do Queensland want to push this out? No, they're taking it a little slow right now. Looks like 2 frags isn't enough to get them out of last. Ooh, yeah, Def does manage to take out Sam there, but does lose his life for it. Another little bit of a reset here, Michael.
Yeah, I think those 2 picks from Sam, I think if Adolo, I think it was Adolo who died. If he went unanswered, I think that would have been a push out. But yeah, he just lost his life. They lost that position in lobby and kind of needed to rotate a few more people over there than they would have liked. As we're going to see 4, 5 South Australian players in the lobby here. Actually, all 6 of them were in there for a second. Deft will realize there are 2 other doors into the last point that need to be watched, but
here comes Doge for the jump. He gets a headshot by Elmo as he tries to go in. Riot loses his life as well. And T3 does get taken down pretty low, but ultimately no force gets taken out, and they're forced to play right back at their choke, South Australia right now. This surely is the push out that we've been waiting for from Queensland.
And you're going to see a lot of damage come out of the door early on.
T3 drops Elmo. No. That's disastrous.
I think, yeah, Gooseman will team up with Lex here, try and get the pick.
Lex is behind. Skaz doesn't see him. Skaz gets forced right at the very end and does. Gooseman and Lex both lose their life. They are leapfrogging on this second point right now, but if they're fast, that's 2 really late spawns coming in from Queensland. It looks like they're going to try to muscle it in.
But they're all 1. Adolo just putting out enough damage, and Sam now, like, they just
Riot
got caught
wins
in 1.
that on the point. Oh my god, Riot's still alive. Riot doing so much for his team just then. Comes in through the flank, gets a frag, and distracts so much that South Australia can just stand on that point. With 13 minutes left, they even it up 2-2, and this is the closest game as we were hoping here, Michael.
Yeah, for sure. These 2 teams, and as we said before, they're pretty close. They've got different strengths, and they really, they're really playing off of them right now. You've actually got Doge doing something unusual here, getting really aggressive and taking Guzman's pack as the pack for South Australia still stands. They'll be able to grab that at any point as Deft's looking to abuse it a bit, taking the spam fight with Adolo as he will chip him down. And it looks like Elmo, he got pretty low there on his own right-hand side, but in the meantime, Lex lost his life, and
Doge gets absolutely midied by Gooseman, but lives on like 1 health. Crossbow is a thing, so he's on 160 health, jumping through their choke already, dealing loads of damage to the combo. Unfortunately, nothing going for him, as it does look like Queensland is backing all the way out here. No, they are actually staying to fight here, and it is South Australia who's forced to back out as those late deaths from Deft and Riot.
I mean, Queensland ending up with like 20% Uber Ed there. Lex sitting in this choke, they're going to be able to take some ground with this player advantage. And Dork, not communicating well enough with Skaz. Dork will run out of the beam, and Skaz is going to get forced onto a Moop and Doge Uber. I don't know if they're going to be able to force T3 here as Doge goes for Gooseman instead of T3. And Yeah, Moop's just got to leave him. Queensland will cap mid, stacking it with all of their players, and they're just going to barrel through this choke because Dork's going to try and get something cheeky on the sniper going.
Riot's sitting in the corner of sewer there. He jumps through, but there's still solid scouts in that point, and he manages to leave with his life, thankfully. And the sniper of, who's that? Dork coming up there, hitting a shot, but unfortunately not quite enough to stop them taking this point here. Looks like Riot's in, seeing what he can do. Nice surf from T3, but he forces to fall damage right at the very end there. I think he could have lived there. He had 25 health. That's a gamble, though. I'd be willing to take it.
Yeah, I don't know. In that one, I mean, if you're T3, you've already dropped twice. I don't think you want a third one on your stats.
That's true. But we are seeing this last fight right now. Lex is standing on the point. The scouts are actually cleaning up big time right now. But it's just Dork and the spawner of Riot. It looks like Riot's going to get there just too late. And Queensland are now taking the lead. With just about 11 minutes left here. What does South Australia need to do on this mid to even things up again, Michael?
I don't know at this point. I think that the mids that they've won, they've kind of just... They haven't done anything right. It's what Queensland's been doing wrong. They've just been losing players too early, mainly their soldiers, and then they just get forced out without any return picks. You're going to see Guzman get really aggressive on his own left, get a nice pipe onto one of the scouts. As you're going to see this kind of... This total non-aggression until right now from South Australia, but even Riot, he's not landing on the combo. His move will go down to Lex as a Dolo gets killed. Lex actually getting himself a second one onto Skaz there. Really good plays by Lex there, as the rest of South Australia is going to be going for T3, but they are all seen. As I think Dork, I think they know he's there. Yeah, they do. He shouldn't get T3 here.
Yeah. Oh, I thought he was going to get that. But
you never know.
And that's a wipe, Moop being the first death and the first spawner in that case. And that was exactly what we didn't want to see from South Australia, that mid. Those soldiers, the bombs were really good and they got a lot of distraction, but unfortunately they just didn't hit their rockets that time and it was too little too late. Looks like there's a soldier in Riot. Oh, he doesn't even get some damage on there as two insects buzz around him and clean him up in the air. We see the heavy and the engineer coming out on Team South Australia right now. And the Uber is popped in early through door one. And looks like the rotation is coming out from Skaz. The gun doesn't go down. The gun is only just down. Depth changing class. 2-3 down actually right now on each team. We do see really low health on Queensland though. Elmo 30 health. Looks like T3 should be leaving with his tail between his legs. I don't think he gets out here. Oh, he's moving really well. Oh, yeah, Riot just hits the last rocket there. Elmo going in for a little Hail Mary play to see what he can get. No, nothing going for him. And both teams basically wipe at the end of that fight. And unfortunately, it does seem to be a reset here, but Skaz does have enough Uberad that they're hoping to get out.
Oh, Sam. So far out.
Shot. Unfortunately, nothing hit by that. But he does hit Doge in the middle of the air. That is a fantastic shot. Adolo does lose his life, but Lex is super deep as well. Looks like Skaz is forced really deep. He has to flash two scouts in order to stay alive here. And Dork doesn't see Lex. No, Dork does manage to see Lex right at the end there. And they do successfully recap this. T3 sitting on about 20% Uber way back in his choke there. Looks like they're going to lose mid to this one too, Michael.
Yeah, and that's just... I don't know, I feel like T3 was alive for longer, but just not having a scout or a soldier with him with all of those players going for the sacks. They've only managed about 25% Uberad. So I don't know that they're going to feel super confident pushing this in. They are still building right now, so...
Yeah, they got all of their forwards though, so I think sensibly Team South Australia is playing quite far back on this mid.
Although they're getting aggressive even before they have. You're going to see the both soldiers in the air. Riot will get put pretty low, and Doge is going to back with him. No point aggressing without his comrade there, as Riot will go down outside of his sewer. And Queensland just going to get mid for free. I think at this point, Ryan, he wanted to get aggressive, but they can't count on South Australia not having Ubers. Oh, Lex. Good second rocket on Skaz there, but he won't get forced.
Yeah, this is some really nice play coming out from Team South Australia now as they're kind of resetting a little bit more onto this fight. They want to take the one player and T3 drops again, this time to Doge. Nice rockets coming in here. it seems like Adolo is trying to make something happen through the choke, but he just jumps straight into Moop's face and eats a pipe and chooses to run away for that. T3 dropping for, I believe, the 3rd time this game, and Skaz is delaying his movement through choke right now as he's trying to sort of bait some of this aggression out. Gooseman is trying to phantasm in sewer, it looks like right now, and he does actually get the force out of Skaz. That was some really nice play from Gooseman there. It does mean that their demo man dies really, really late though. Looks like they're just gonna see if they can reset this. No forwards for them this time, I don't think. Oh no, Elmo and Adolo both get pushed back to last, and this looks like now the space is coming through for Team South Australia to take this 2nd point. Riot and Doge being really, really far forward, spamming them out. They do manage to get this 2nd point, and it looks like they're just gonna let this Uber come up on last and wait for this repush to come in from Team Queensland, Michael.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this Queensland, at this point, they know they have had, and they've actually built it up pretty well, ending at about 35. They're going to use in from lowers with the Gooseman jumping in, surfing the head of Move into the choke to try and get more damage out, but it's going to be Lex getting all of the kills in the Uber. Was that an upper lobby? Yeah, he got 2 kills upper IT there, his own lobby.
Yeah,
really
those
good.
2 soldiers both tried to gremlin for any sort of cap frags they could get / back caps they could get behind, but the Uber is now up on the side of Skaz. The soldiers aren't in his face, but it is the scouts actually in his face that get this force. Lex is super low in their sewer right now, does get the pack, looks like he's managing to back out. Insects buzzing around, they smell a low soldier, they know they can get him, but he does ultimately manage to leave, and that could be big for his team as they're only 3 up right now with about 8 seconds left on their spawns, and this point is getting capped, and the off Uber push is now coming in. And that's Riot coming up. Riot beefs the rocket onto T3, but the point is so capped. This is so dangerous. It's just a Dolo. It's really low health, and Gooseman.
The Goose doesn't have sticks.
Skaz, yes, and that evens it up. 5 minutes left. This game is a nail biter, Michael.
Yeah, 3-3. South Australia responding with a pretty quick round there comparatively to the rest of them. So, I don't know, 5 minutes left. This could go either way. If Queensland can kind of, get that sort of momentum that they had at the start, 2 quick rounds, they could run away with it. But South Australia, they've been finding themselves late in this game. So we're going to see a Dolo take some hype, but have to give it up pretty quickly as he gets spammed out.
Moop pre-stick to the pack, and Adolo couldn't go for it here. But now he's trying to take the left side here. But Riot and Doge are jumping in here. Doge actually gets completely shut down. Riot is hitting some good damage. Unfortunately, nothing gophering, and that is 2 down on the side of that.
Doge.
But Doge coming in and hits the rockets. Elmo actually gets down Mr. President in front of his medic right there and saves his life. 30 health on T3 at the very end of that fight.
I'm pretty sure he was 1. I didn't see, but I'm pretty sure he was 1, if not 2. Doge has got to be hitting himself if he watches the VOD back on that. Said, get down, Mr. T3.
T3 does get forced out as this trade is happening on Dork right now. Gooseman actually spamming them out, and all of the presence looks like it's coming from blue team right now. Deft loses his life, and the soldiers are all over height here as Lex is doing quite a lot of damage, forced to back out. Riot loses his life, and Doge unfortunately also loses his life, and this is South Australia forced back to their last. Thankfully it is about even Ubers, but these players are up in 8 seconds, and it looks like if they're really quick, Queensland can come in here, and they are indeed in. Dork is up on the Fat Man already, does a lot of damage, but unfortunately nothing going for him. Skaz is going to get caught out by a Dolo. No, Skaz manages to live here, but that's 3 quick frags, and the point gets played by Queensland with 3 minutes left. This is going to have to be a lightning round if South Australia want to tie this up here, Michael.
Yeah, but I have a feeling Queensland, they're not going to stop this team. You've got Ryan. I have a feeling he may be kind of taking a bit more of a main calling role on this team, the way that they're playing. Just so hyper aggressive, just really making the use of their 2 star scouts. As you've got kind of the same thing as happening as normal. Soldiers trying to trade height, getting spammed out when they do. Ryan's going to take a big buff and walk over the left-hand side where actually all of South Australia is, and they're going to kill him.
Yeah, Adolo loses his life too. Only Doge going down, and the health is actually much, much better on South Australia right now. Lex dying Oh, and Riot's behind. Absolutely huge from Riot there. 2 quick frags. The air shot coming out from him there. 2.5 minutes left here, and it's a complete wipe from Queensland. If they're quick, they can stop the cockroach from setting up his horrible nest, and they can get this really, really quickly as the spawn has already been stickied by Moop, but everyone's out on the other side. The Brass Beast Heavy up from a Dolo. Second, still not caps though, and they do back out to focus on that
That's
Sam
gonna be a
dying
20
to a trap.
20-second spawn. Odds are South Australia won't let him live, but oh my god, Skaz, he's so low. Lex will do so much damage to him, but he will have to get out.
Yeah, the force does happen, and this Brass Beast Heavy is not going to let anything happen here as they are starting to play. Looks like Adolo hasn't quite been... Yeah, no, there he goes. He gets the arrow from his medic. Sticky's dead on point as well as Moop loses his life. Skaz has enough time for one more Uber if he lives.
Oh,
Moop
T3 is going to die early.
T3 dies too. Skaz dies also. This does look like a little bit of a defense at the moment, a successful defense, I should say, as it's just Riot leaving, but with his tail between his legs right now through the IT area. And that is a recap coming out from Queensland right now. It is still possible for one more Uber from Skaz right now if he grinds it up. It's very, very even though, as T3 has just spawned. This is... they have to go off Uber onto second to have the Uber for last, I feel, and that is indeed exactly what they're doing. Doge jumping in deep and Riot following up. So much damage coming out from these soldiers. Moop following it up too.
Dolo.
But Skaz getting... Yeah, that's Adolo. Adolo getting 2 really quickly. Loses his life for it, but this looks like the crumble from South Australia. Unfortunately, we do see Doge jumping in, seeing what he can get done. Elmo loses his life, but it's a basically a wipe right now as Dork and Skaz are the only 2 spawners. 70% on T3. Looks like they're going to retake this mid with 1 minute left, Michael.
Yeah, Dork's going to try and make the play. I think he knows the med's on the point. He's going to try. He's going to wrap around. T3 will see him, but he's just going to get so minced as Riot lands on him.
That's really, really good. And the soldiers are in on Skaz too. But yeah, they do lose Skaz in that, but that's 3 down. If they're fast, there's 40 seconds. They have to really, really push this as fast as they can. But the health is so low and Skaz is down. There's nothing too much going for them as Deft and Lex are having a little bit of an awkward fight behind. Second is just now being played. Lex on 7 health and it's just T3 on last. The spawns do come in. 20 seconds. They have to go for something right now as they are just awkwardly waddling.
Oh my god.
Get that.
They might. The Heavy's really slow to the point. They need to keep Ryan alive there, and they will do it.
10 seconds.
Oh, I don't know that it'll be possible.
Deft versus 8 stickies on the point. I don't think he can get it. And it looks like the winners of one of the first group stage rounds here are indeed Queensland. They take it in a nail-bitingly close game, 4-3 against South Australia. If this is an indication of what we're going to see for the rest of tonight, I'm really excited for some really, really exciting TF2 here, Michael.
Yeah, South Australia, I feel so bad for them. They won that first mid, 2 minutes remaining. They had just... I don't know, they had so much going in their favor. They had the ad, they had the positioning, but they just let second go. They forgot about it. They had, I think, 3 or 4 players in last and just no one capping second. They got forced and the Uber ran out before they finished the cap. And that's really what led to Queensland being able to kind of clutch at the straws that they were given and just not lose the round is the main thing that they didn't lose. And that was, yeah, I don't know. I feel like South Australia just kind of like had a few minor faults in that game that just led to that result. But I don't know. I think over the next 3 rounds, we're going to see them kind of, come into their own a little bit more, figure out how they want to play. And, I think they are definitely a contender for top 3. And I think Queensland may be their main rival for that.
Yeah, I know they had a rough couple of rounds as these soldier bombs weren't really working out for them, but they eventually figured it out, and I think they managed to claw a lot back there, which is really exciting. As we have mentioned, not a lot of these teams have actually played together before, and I think that really shows in the logs as Gooseman doing his best Pug demo impersonation, 29 frags, 12 deaths, and 340 damage a minute. That was some really, really nice play, as I believe he didn't quite top frag in the server, got edged out by Deft on the South Australia team, getting 30 frags. But that's some really, really impressive demo man play, as Sam also manages to out demo Moop. So I think that's a lot of why they managed to take that round, Michael.
Yeah, definitely. And just while we have some downtime between the games, because we don't have a lot of downtime, we're typically giving it about 15 minutes, provided the games start on time. I want to quickly talk about the other results, because obviously we're only watching one game at a time. And obviously there's always going to be two other games being played. So the other two games were Victoria versus Western Australia, and then New South Wales versus the Allies. Both of those games were really convincing 5-0s. We had Victoria 5-0 Western Australia in 19 minutes, and we had New South Wales 5-0 the Allies in 12. And kind of, as we kind of alluded to before the show, Victoria and New South Wales are definitely the two strongest states. No one's arguing that, and they're definitely asserting their dominance in this first round.
Yeah, and we'll get to some of their games later on tonight. We're just going to have to wait for the Swiss system to generate the next lot of matches too, as all of the round one matches have finished. We're just going to wait for the computer to do its wizardry. But I believe we're joined right now by the wonderful Beta. How are you going, Beta?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I just walked in on a civil war. It's good times.
Yeah. So, as an outsider, do you know much about this whole state versus state thing, or state of origin, as a lot of people call it, in the Australian TF2 scene?
I don't know a whole lot about it. I think I might have seen a couple of games every now and then, kind of randomly. But I assume it's very similar to, like, the ETF All Nations War, just like condensed more.
Yeah. So similar to a Nations Cup. Unfortunately, we don't have separate nations as much as I think Western Australia wants to secede. We only have states in here, so we and territories. We've formed a series of teams based on states, and there is a team allies as well, which is anyone from the smaller states like Tasmania, plus mainly New Zealand players. And we'll see, hopefully, a game from most of these teams tonight. We'll try to sort of cast something from everything, I feel. But it's a bit of fun, I think, just to fill in some space between the season, but it's also a little bit of state versus state rivalry. I know in particular, based on the old football, there's the actual state of origin between Queensland and New South Wales that this is kind of imitating a little bit. So we're in for some fun matches tonight, I think. That being said, is there any word on when the next games are going to get sorted out?
The only thing we have is not yet.
Yep, I'm in the middle of pestering our ozfortress admin overlord Catfish about it, so we will find out soon, hopefully.
Or maybe that's it. It's over.
Yeah, that was
One
it.
round.
One game.
Yeah,
Goodbye,
so we
everyone.
have we're planning.
They're up now.
Oh, cool. So we're planning, I think, is it 3 rounds for the state versus state? 4 rounds. The semifinals of which are going to be tomorrow.
Okay.
There is, I think, the best one that I think is going to come up out of this one looks like Team Victoria versus Team New South Wales. I guess we'll have to see which one is best to cast, but we'll figure it out on the fly here. My opinion, that's going to be the best game to cast.
Yeah, no, I think we get in on that one. That's going to be on Pro Lands. All rounds being played on the same map, so you're not missing out on any maps here. It's process first, as we just saw. Pro Lands for the second round. Third round will be Snakewater. Fourth round will be Gully Wash. And I want to get a sneak peek at the grand finals. I have a feeling, at least, with Victoria versus New South Wales.
So
Awesome.
I think we might actually head to a quick break as we generate the rounds, get the teams into the servers, give our voices a bit of a rest. Michael and Xander, obviously, doing all the heavy lifting for that first round. So yeah, stay tuned. We'll hopefully be back in a couple of minutes. See you guys soon.